people on the internet, it's been a while, I know. But at this point, let's be honest, are we even surprised? I seem to be incapable of adhering to any uploading schedule due to mostly exterior circumstances this time, but yeah, thanks for sticking around. I really appreciate it. Today I thought that instead of just narrating what's going on in the video as I'm decorating in my Muji planner, it'd be maybe nice if we could catch up a little bit. I've added some text in the video to better explain some of the things I'm doing in case I don't get to it as I'm talking my way through this video. So if you want to focus more on the planning aspect, feel free to mute this video, play some relaxing music instead, and hopefully it will still be a good experience. I've been wanting to try out a more podcasty narration style for a while now, but the organizational aspect and the whole process of an actual podcast seem a bit daunting to someone like me who's currently not in a state where I can commit to things on a regular basis, because I can't even keep a YouTube channel alive for more than a week. And also, what would I even talk about exactly? I mean, my interests all come and sometimes go. For example, in February, I started being really into manga and anime again, and that's what I wanted to talk about the most. And don't worry, that's what we're gonna talk about later. It was just such a good time to catch up on some older titles and reread some favorites, but also discovering new series and shows. But at the same time, I still really want to talk about books, and I want to introduce you to my latest stationery obsessions. It's just hard to find one niche topic that I can imagine myself talking about on a regular basis, because whenever I discover something or rediscover something, I want to share it with you guys. I guess the gist of the story is that I probably should film more videos and share those passions with you that way. And believe me, I want to film more videos. In my mind, there are constantly video ideas floating around. It's just that I'm a perfectionist, and I think I have a bit of an OCD where if I don't have all of my equipment and my setting isn't the way I want it to be, then I can't work on anything. I struggled with similar hurdles when I used to study in the library as well. I remember that it was so hard for me to concentrate on carrying on with my studies when I forgot like one specific highlighter at home that I happened to use for my notes. It's such a trivial matter, but that incapability to carry on whatever task because of one trivial thing that was missing or wasn't the way it should be was a mental burden. It's a hurdle in my mind that I have to overcome, and to be honest, it's not easy. I was about to scrap this video as well and put it in my growing folder of unused footage because I wasn't really liking, or I'm still not really liking, how the spread turned out aesthetic-wise. But then I saw all the other footage already in that folder, and sometimes I think you just need to start something and finish it, no matter what the results are. So this is what I'm doing. No more excuses. Yesterday, I went down the memory lane and revisited some Instagram stories that I posted years ago, and it occurred to me that I always planned on uploading lots of videos, and it never ended up happening for whatever reason. It made me kind of sad, because I usually feel very passionate about this whole YouTube process. It never actually leaves my mind, but my inner saboteur is not a very helpful person. I mean, who would have thought, right? So I procrastinate and tell myself that the footage isn't good enough, whereas I could have just edited and uploaded the videos anyways and improve as I'm creating actual content. I hope to get all of my filming equipment soon, so I have the possibility to film from better angles and my process is more streamlined. But as for now, this will have to do. I will just have to get creative about it. Really, this is no excuse for me to not upload any videos anymore. Hold me accountable for it, please. The reason why I don't have all of my equipment right now is because I moved, and due to the circumstances at that time, I had to leave some of the bigger things behind in Berlin where I used to live. Which means my tripods and my ring lights are there. That's the reason you don't see the angle directly above my desk anymore, which I usually prefer for the majority of my journaling videos, and I feel a little bit constricted in the angles that I can use to film, but it is what it is, okay? I kind of want to venture into more than just journaling content and take you guys with me, for example, to the kitchen, as I've been enjoying cooking more and more. I also want to show you how I organize my stationery items and give you a desk tour, but things are closed down here in Germany as we're headed to the third wave. Or Are we already in a third wave, in the middle of it? Honestly, I can't even catch up anymore. It's like we're all stuck in a time loop that progressively gets worse as we're going round and around. How have you guys been handling this situation? If you need someone to talk to or vent, my Instagram DMs are open. I might not respond right away, but I'm trying my best to always respond. Sometimes I feel like it's easier to talk to strangers than it is to close friends because that detachment and anonymity serves sort of like a barrier breaker and a protection. So if you ever need that, reach out. I'm not a therapist, obviously, or can do much about your struggles, but my goal has always been to create content and hence a community that feels safe. Something that will give you a peace of mind for the duration of a video at least. And I also want it to be a space for us to share our love for small things like stationery, washi tape, books, and anime. And I hope that we can discover things together and talk about them. You guys inspire me as well with your recommendations, and I'm easily influenced, okay? For example, the YouTube algorithm decided to recommend me some anime video essayists. Is that a word? And I was obsessed with those videos, especially the ones from Super Eye Patch Wolf, Mother's Basement, and Giguk. They're so passionate about the topic that you can't help but first binge their videos and naturally check out the subject of their videos. So I came across that one video from Giguk who talked about how Black Clover doesn't suck anymore. Apparently, Black Clover's anime wasn't really well received at first. I had heard of Black Clover before, but never really checked it out because by that time I wasn't really into pretty much anything anymore. Law school had taken over my life completely. I was just a robot sitting at my desk studying the whole day. For some reason, that video intrigued me a lot. I think it's because Garn from Giguk talks about the different squads and the tournament arc, and I have a weakness for any sort of house, faction, district trope in media that started with Harry Potter. I'm a Ravenclaw, by the way. And I also have a weakness for tournament arcs that stems mainly from the World Tournament saga from Dragon Ball Z. If anyone remembers it, it was amazing, okay? I loved that arc so much as a kid and also as an adult because I rewatched Dragon Ball Z in its entirety when I was a sophomore or maybe a junior in college. So you could say I was triggered, and I binged the entire show, I think it was like 168 episodes, within 2 weeks, and I loved it. It was an amazing experience, especially the openings. Black Clover's openings are top-notch, and I only skipped like one of them. I put them all in a playlist that I listen to whenever I shower or just feel like it, which is pretty often nowadays. Also, the characters are so charming and well developed that you can't help but start liking them all. I love how it slowly develops into an ensemble cast, whereas at first we only had Asta and Yuno. The ensemble cast is where it's at its best. Coincidentally, a month later in March, after I decided to watch Black Clover, its end was announced. Talk about timing. So naturally, I had to find other shows to binge because I was on an anime stroll and I couldn't stop. I want to talk about 2 more before this video ends. The first being Jujutsu Kaisen. That is one freaking good show, man. I'm also up to date on the manga, and let me tell you, I cannot wait for the Shibuya incident arc to get animated. It's gonna be so freaking fantastic. I fell in love with the show from episode 1. It was so refreshing to see a protagonist that wasn't overly ambitious or shunned for whatever reason, but was just athletically very blessed with a tendency to eat disgusting old fingers. Do you feel like watching the show now? I'm pretty good at promoting it, I know. But if the hype hasn't caught up to you yet, give it a try. The actually strong female characters and a lack of fan service was everything. The anime was fantastically animated by MAPPA Studios, and it also had a really nice balance between more mature content and also wholesome scenes. The voice acting was also top-notch. I especially enjoyed Tsunya Inoki's voice for our main character Yuji. It was mature and gentle and just perfectly encapsulated his character. And also, Gojo's character exists, and that is reason enough for you guys to check out the manga and the anime. Please do. Another anime I want to talk about before we move on to maybe another topic. Honestly, at this point, I don't even know for how long I've been talking, but I can't leave you guys without talking about Hunter x Hunter. That show did something to me. I haven't felt this emotional towards animated characters in forever. The pure and wholesome friendship between Gon and Killua legit brought me to tears. I cried, okay? It started out really cute and fun, and I thought, hey, this reminds me of old school Pokemon. but boy oh boy, it got gritty, and it was amazing. I cannot recommend this anime enough, and I sincerely hope I get to experience the end of this awesome series in its manga form, but health comes first, so personally, I'd be fine with the anime ending as well, as long as the mangaka Yoshihiro Togashi prioritizes his health, because we only have one. On this note, I hope you're all safe and taking care of yourselves. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate all your support. Let me know in the comments if you're also watching anime and what shows you enjoyed, and if you're not, then leave me a comment anyways and tell me you don't. I will see you soon with new content, maybe finally book content that I want to create. I promise this time. Take care.